Welcome to the channel. Today I want to explore Detroit, Michigan. I want to look at some old buildings with you and try to understand our timeline a little better by diving in to the history of Detroit. Here we go. We'll start with the Detroit International Exposition in 1889.
This is the main International Exposition building that was modeled off of grand European palaces that have stood for centuries. But this was built to be temporary and only stood for 6 years, so the history books go. An article in Harper's Weekly declared that it was the largest building in the world erected exclusively for fair and exposition purposes. And we're told it was made entirely out of wood, and it boasted a tower with unparalleled views and offered some 200,000 square feet of exposition space. In researching the building of the fair, I came across none other than the Mound Builders, an ancient people who were highly advanced and built mounds around the entire United States, often in solar and lunar alignments, like the Serpent Mound in Ohio. This is the Great Mound at River Rouge, the largest mound in the Detroit area. It is said to have been 200 feet long, 300 feet wide, and 20 feet tall. This mound and all mounds in southeastern Michigan have long since been flattened and turned into streets and lots. The fair was built on a portion of the former Moses W. Field Farm, which contained a remnant of the Great Mound. The property was open to the general public in the summer months before the official opening of the exposition. Visitors were openly encouraged to pillage what was left of the mound. It was reported that the walkways throughout the grounds would be less dusty than before because they were to be covered with the great quantity of fine gravel, found under the center of one axis of where formerly stood the great prehistoric Indian mound. The destruction of the Great Mound of the River Rouge was complete. This fair was built on top of an ancient site. This happens very often in history. The new covers up the old in order to skew our understanding or to blur things for the general public who are not awake. This reminds me of a documentary film series called True Legends, in which they documented the many times that the Catholic Church would build their churches on top of previous ancient sites, so they could go down and dig underneath without the general public knowing what they're doing. The exposition was demolished in 1895, and it was torn down to produce soda ash. Now on to some old buildings. I will play some music, sit back, relax, and I'll comment on the most interesting buildings of note. And this immaculate building was a grand post office. I hope you see the magnificent city of Detroit in a more positive light than the present narrative or news would tell you. Detroit being a kind of beat up city, it's got a kind of bad name or society right now. So happy to show the past of Detroit. It looks like everyone was happy. The people who inherited the city, I do believe the buildings were much older than we're told, seem to be um, happy people wearing umbrellas a lot and wearing black clothes, but they did go out to the fountains to hang out and relax and take electric trolleys all around and go to fairs and theaters for plays and dramas and stuff like that. Two theaters of note in Detroit. First being the Hollywood Theater. What I found interesting is it featured a huge Barton theater organ, the third largest the company ever made, and it was not cheap, costing $75,000 alone, nearly $1 million today. It was auctioned off to the highest bidder, who him and his friends spent the next 5 months taking it apart piece by piece. There were thousands of pieces. And the theater was demolished in 1963, sadly. Wow, that sounded amazing. And I love the artistry on the instrument itself. So the second theater I wanted to mention was the National Theater, previously known as the Palace Theater. It closed in 1975. It still stands today, but it is essentially a shell of a building, though a beautiful one. It is in heartbreaking condition, unfortunately. I will leave you with a few more images of Old World Detroit. These are some pipe organs that were in churches that have been destroyed. So they have either been destroyed the building or moved, though I don't understand why you would want to ever move an organ or even destroy the church in the first place. Very sad. This is a building in the process of destruction. AMC headquarters is in Detroit. A water tower, though I don't think they actually held water or were made for that purpose. The electric trolley parks, or electric parks, also Luna parks, were popular in the early 1900s. Most of them closed around 1917. I'll get to that in future videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.